What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's confirmed and it's true. Biden wins confirmed after pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol. Oh, let's get to this, shall we? Congress affirmed Democrat Joe Biden as presidential election winner early Thursday after a violent mob loyal to President Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol in a stunning attempt to overturn America's presidential election, undercut the nation's democracy, and keep Trump in the White House. Lawmakers were resolved to complete the Electoral College tally and a display to the country and to the world of the nation during a commitment to uphold that will of the voters and peaceful transfer to power. They pushed through the night with tensions high and the nation's capital on alert. Before dawn Thursday, lawmakers finished their work confirming Biden won the election. Here's some pictures, yeah. National Guard. Okay. Vice President Mike Pence, presiding over the joint session, announced the tally 306 to 232. Yep, that was the count right there. Trump, who had repeatedly refused to concede the election, said in a statement immediately after the vote that there will be a smooth transition of power on the inaugural day. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election, the facts bear me out. Nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th, Trump said in a statement posted to Twitter by an aide. The Capitol was under siege Wednesday as the nation's elected representatives scrambled to crouch under desks and don gas masks while police profusely tried to barricade the building. One of the most jarring scenes ever to unfold in the seat of American political power. A woman was shot and killed inside the Capitol. And Washington's mayor instituted an evening curfew to attempt to contain the violence. The rioters were egged on by Trump. Yeah, that's right, I've said it. And Trump did egg them on. Who has spent weeks falsely attacking the integrity of the election and had urged his supporters to descend on Washington to protest Congress' formal approval of Biden's victory. Some Republican lawmakers were in the midst of raising objections to the result on his behalf when the proceedings were abruptly halted by the mob. And here's more pictures here. Please hold up Trump supporters, try to break through the bricks barricade, yada. Together, the protest and the GOP election objection announced to an utmost unthinkable challenge to American democracy and expose the depths of the division that have coursed through the country during Trump's 4 years in office. Though the efforts to block Biden from being sworn in on January 20th were sure to fail, the support Trump has received for his efforts to overturn the election results have badly strained the nation's democratic guardrails. Congress reconvened in the evening with lawmakers decrying the protests that defaced the Capitol and vowing to finish confirming the Electoral College votes for Biden's election. Even if it took all night, Pence reopened the Senate and directly addressed the demonstrators. You did not win. The Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said the failed insurrection on a scour of lawmakers due to finish the count. Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Congress would show the world what America is made of with the outcome. See, here's some of the lawmakers having to duck down. People shelter in the House gallery. Yeah. The president gave his supporters a boost into action Wednesday morning at the rally outside the White House. When he urged them to march to the Capitol, he spent much of the afternoon in his private dining room of the Oval Office watching scenes of the violence on television. At the urging of his staff, he reluctantly issued a pair of tweets and a taped video telling his supporters it was time to go home in peace. Yet he still said he backed their cause. Hours later, Twitter, for the first time locked Trump's account, demanded that he remove tweets excusing violence and threatened permanent suspension. A summer President-elect Biden, 2 weeks away from being inaugurated, said American democracy was under unprecedented assault. and sentiment echoed by many in Congress, including some Republicans. Former President George W. Bush said he watched the events in disbelief and dismay. The Dome Capitol building has for centuries been the scene of protests and occasional violence, but Wednesday's events were particularly astonishing both because they unfolded, at least initially, with the implicit blessing of the president and because the underlying goal of overturning results of a free and fair presidential election. Tensions were already running high when lawmakers gathered early Wednesday afternoon for the constitutionally mandated counting of the Electoral College results, in which Biden defeated Trump 306 to 232. Despite pleas from McConnell, more than 150 GOP lawmakers plan to support objections to some of the results, though lacking evidence of fraud or wrongdoing in the election. Oh yeah, here's more picture right there. Trump supporters and breakthrough. You can see the police and supporters. Trump spent the lead up to the proceedings publicly hectoring Pence, who had a largely ceremonial role to aid the effort to throw out the election. He tweeted, "Do it, Mike. This is a time for extreme courage." But Pence, in a statement shortly before President defied Trump, saying he could not claim unallowed authority to reject the electoral votes to make Biden president. In the aftermath of the siege, several Republicans announced they would drop their objections to the election, including Senator Kelly LaFleur, Ari, Georgia, who lost her bid to re-election Tuesday. Earlier, protesters had fought past police and breached the building, shouting and waving Trump American flags as they marched through the halls. Many without masks during the COVID-19 crisis. Lawmakers were told to duck under the seats for cover and put on the gas masks after tear gas were used in the Capitol Rotunda. Some House lawmakers tweeted that they were sheltering in place in their offices. Representative Scott Peters, D-Calif, told reporters he was in the House chamber when rioters began storming it. Security officers made us all get down. You could see that they were fending off some sort of assault. And here's more pictures. Trump supporters breaking through a police barrier. He said he had a piece of furniture off the door, and he had guns pulled. Peters said glass panes to the house door were shattered. The woman who was killed was part of the crowd that was breaking down the doors to a barricaded room where armed officers stood on the other side, police said. She was shot in the chest by Capitol Police and was taken to the hospital where she pronounced dead. City police said 3 other people died from medical emergencies during the long protests on and around the Capitol grounds. Staff members grabbed boxes of Electoral College votes as evacuation took place. Otherwise, Senator Jeff McCurry of Oregon, the balance likely would have been destroyed by the protesters. The mob storming Congress prompted outrage, mostly from Democrats, but from Republicans as well, as lawmakers accused Trump of fomenting the violence with his relentless falsehoods about the election. "Count me out," said Trump ally Sen. Lindsey Graham. "Enough is enough." Several suggested that Trump be prosecuted for a crime or even removed under the constitutional 25th Amendment, which seemed unlikely 2 weeks from when his term expires. I think Donald Trump probably should be brought up in treason for something like this, the Republican Jimmy Gomez told reporters, "This is how a coup is started, and this is how democracy dies." Oh my goodness. We'll get through this. We're getting there. Senator Ben Sass of Nebraska, who has at times clashed with Trump, issued a statement saying, "Lies have consequences. This violence was the inevitable and ugly outcome to the president's addiction to constantly stoking division." Despite Trump's repeated claims of voter fraud, election officials and his own former attorney general have said there was no problems on the scale that would change the outcome. All the states have certified their results as fair and accurate by Republican and Democrats officials alike. All right. Punctuating their resolve, both the House and Senate soundly rejected an objection to election result for Arizona, which had been raised by Senator Ted Cruz, piece of crap he is, Republican Texas, and Paul Gosar, Arizona, another from Pennsylvania, brought by Senator Josh Hawley and Representative Scott Perry, Still, most House Republicans supported the objection. Other objections to result from Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, and Wisconsin fizzled. The Pentagon said 1,100 District of Columbia National Guard members were being mobilized to help support law enforcement at the Capitol. Dozens of people were arrested. Got through it. Anyways, yeah. So, like I said, despite all this shenanigan, Biden win to confirm 303 to 232. Yep. There it is. 306 to 232. Biden will be he'll be inaugural on January 20th. With that said, I'm out of here. Mic drop. Peace out.